Hello, 4th and 5th graders. Please don't stop this video. Welcome to week 20. I wanted to let you guys know that my 4th and 5th graders had the biggest trouble with last week's lesson. You were supposed to give me 3 different photographs, one from bird's eye view. Bird's eye view is you're pretending your camera is a bird looking down at you. That's bird's eye view. It's the same thing as if you were standing and looking up. You're not moving your objects. You are moving, sorry about this one, guys. You are moving the camera, okay? So bird's eye view is from above, looking down at you, or you yourself looking down, okay? Regular view is you standing normally, sitting normally. What you see is what you get. Worm's eye view is when you take that camera and you put it down below. It's either on the floor or it's down below looking upward, okay? And it looks like things are huge then because of the positioning of the camera. Just like if you were to lay on the floor, you are now looking as if you are a worm. You're laying on the ground looking up, okay? Some of you were taking your pencil and you're changing the way you looked at it. That's not the different views. Bird's eye view is looking at something from above, okay? So I would see the top of your head if you did it like this, or if you're looking up, I'm going to see your eyes a little bit. Normal view is what you see every day, and worm's eye view is when you're laying on the ground looking up, or you're really close to the ground looking up or looking out. So everything on the ground level is really, really close, okay? The reason I say that is because some of you did not give me 3 different views. And I'm sorry, guys, but when you don't listen to my recordings and you don't pay attention to it, then my recordings start to get lengthy because I'm explaining what you didn't do correctly. So if you want to get more points, go back and do lesson 19 over again. Make sure that you have 3 views. If you did all 3 views, please make sure that you labeled them. You needed a title for the different views. I would love if you could tell me what is bird's eye, what is worm's eye, and what is normal. Some of my friends showed me all 3, but then mislabeled them, so you don't understand what the different views are. So please, please, please go back and explain them. If for some reason you could not get the camera to work, please click on my hand on the slideshow. It will take you to my help page. My help page has how to take photographs. It also tells you how to take videos in case you can't get the photographs to work. If you do the video, when you do the video, please say, this is bird's eye, this is normal view, this is worm's eye. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas. Now, sorry about that. We are on to week 20, so welcome to week 20. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to get out your art bags. We are going to do a little bit of labeling and a little bit of creating today so that we can create a whole lot more next week. So, in our art bags, we have the stop paper. The stop paper says this art bag is for art class only. Please have this bag with you for art class from now until whenever we're done with the bag. Please write your name on the line below and always keep this paper in your bag. That way, if you're at a daycare or something and you misplaced it, they know whose it is. We will use these supplies in our art lessons. Love, Mrs. Brunlinger. So please write your first and your last name. Don't do anything on the back. We might be using the back for something later. Next, you have some good paper. This is going to be your painting paper. You have 1 sheet of large or regular size painting paper. You'll notice that this is not as flimsy as this paper. This thicker paper is for paint. It holds paint without making holes in it. If you go over a spot too many times, sure, you'll make a hole in it, but it will hold the paint and the watercolors a lot better than that other paper will. Okay? There are also 2 half sheets of good paper. On those pieces of paper, I would like you to get a pencil and write G for good. I am putting the capital letter G because it is much easier to see. So I have the letter G 3 different times. Wonderful. You will be using this sheet today, the half sheet. So just put that aside. You have flimsy papers. You have 1, 2, 3 flimsy papers. Please, on your 3 flimsy papers, write the letter D, okay, for drawing. They are your drawing papers. We will use them later, so please make sure that you do that. Put them on a pile, and those things can go, we'll end up putting them back in the bag. You have a plate. This plate will be your mixing tray. We will mix colors on here. I will teach you how to do that. Put that to the side. You have a watercolor set. Put that to the side. You have a straw. Please do not drink with this. This will be for our artwork at some other time. I tried to only hold it from the middle. I did not touch the ends. Now, if you are in 4th grade, you had a paper that was like this, piece of cardboard. If you're in 5th grade, you got a smaller one. So basically, my 5th graders got like a calling card or an ID card or a baseball card kind of a thing. We'll work on this a little bit later. And my 4th graders, you got something that looks more like a photo piece of paper or something. And we'll talk about these later. So, as I said, I would like you to put all of your materials, your good drawing paper, your good painting paper, your drawing paper, your cardboard, your purple paper, your straw, your plate, and your watercolors back in the bag, and you are going to need this piece of paper here for our demonstration.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you are going to get that good piece of paper. It's that half sheet of paper. And on that half sheet of paper, I suggest using a pencil. I put a dash here, and I'm going to put my first name and my last name, because that is how you should always do your artwork. Your name should go on your artwork on the back. Now, I didn't do it huge because if I need to use the back of my paper, I can always flip it over and do it on the back. I can erase that if I need. Then I'm going to flip it over. So we're going to make a couple lines. But before we start making lines, I want to talk about some lines. You guys are smart enough people. You know that this is a wavy line. A wavy line has a valley and a hill, a mountaintop. So notice if I use it this way or this way, they're exactly the same because they both have like a hill here and then a reverse hill, okay? So that's a wavy line, and you probably want to do bigger lines because if you do too small, you're going to have some trouble with your artwork. So this might not work out so well with you. Now, this is also a wavy line, but what you'll notice is I did a big hill and then I did a couple little hills and medium hills. That's perfectly all right. I'm giving you some ideas because I want you to make some fun lines using wavy lines, scallop lines, and bumpy lines. Or I'm sorry, scallop lines are bumpy lines. But we're going to also talk about zigzags. So here's your scallop line or bumpy line. Notice that it is a hill and it stops and it bounces again. It stops and it bounces again. Notice how it is different from a wavy line. Okay, the wavy line has a hill and an upside down hill, whereas a bumpy line or a scallop line just has a hill and then it bounces right back up like Tigger. Okay? Now, what I did is I decided to have some fun and I did a scallop line. I did a bump and then I did two small bumps and then I decided to bump the opposite direction. This can also be considered a scallop line. Okay? Next, we have our typical zigzag line. Remember, bigger is better for this artwork that we're doing because the little tiny zigzags as well as little tiny wavy lines or scallop lines are going to be too cumbersome for you. They're going to be annoying. So I did a regular zigzag line. However, we can get interesting with our zigzag line. Okay, and it looks like I have some W's and M's in here. You could do like the heartbeat line. Make it interesting. So now that you have those thoughts and ideas, okay, here are some weird wonky lines. But you'll notice that I have the scallop idea here, and I have some straight lines here. Okay, I have a wave here. All right, so those are just some ideas to get you moving and juicing. So the first thing we need to do, I'm holding my paper landscape style, and you're going to find two spots about equal distance. So that's about equal from here to here. Now, if you notice, I just made a V with my finger, and that actually works pretty well to divide it up. You don't want to put a dot here and a dot here. Because look, if I do that, it's not really even. If I put it really close together, that's not really even. Now, if yours is a little bit off, it's not a big deal. It might be more interesting that way. I like to kind of even mine out. So I put two little dots. Now, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to start with a straight line, and let's do a scallop. And now a wavy line and a zig. Okay, so I've got something interesting there. Now here, I'm going to start with a wavy line, a straight line, a zigzag, and I don't know, let's do a scallop. So I've got some mixed lines together. Looks a little kooky banooky. Have some fun with it. Your line is your line. Now, we're going to do the same thing going the opposite way. This is really important. Notice how I did not do any loop-de-loo lines. Loop-de-loo lines are lines that cross over themselves. Okay? We don't want to do loop-de-loo lines because they're going to get very, very hard for you guys in our for next week. So again, I turned my paper. It's now portrait style. I'm going to just go in the middle here and put a dot right smack dab in the middle of that top part of my line or my paper. And again, I'm going to make some crazy kind of line. And there you go. That's my line. Now next week it's important to use a crayon. If you have a crayon, or a birthday candle is great, or any candle for that matter. If you don't have a candle or a crayon available, you may just use the pencil, but it might make it a little more difficult for you. You can also use a Sharpie. If you have a crayon or a few crayons that you would like to use, I'm going to suggest throwing them in your bag just to get you prepared for next week, and then put this in your bag as well to prepare yourself for next week.
Okay, so now that you've prepared your work for me, with me, you are going to hit the next arrow right over here, the green next arrow, to go to the Meet the Artist studio. When you go in there, you are going to open a book up, read a book or listen to the book, and then you'll hit the number 2. Guys, we're always going to do 1 and then 2 on each of these 3 slides. Once you do 1, go to 2. At 2, you will notice that there are directions that slightly change because some of you did not understand that I wanted you to post on a friend's work to comment on it. We're going to try doing that in marking period 4 because I'm having some trouble with you guys talking to each other in art. I need you to talk to each other. Unlike other classes where your teacher's like, no, don't talk, stop talking. You need to do your work. Mrs. Brunlinger is telling you, you need to talk about artwork. You need to talk about your feelings, your thoughts, what you're getting from art, because that is part of art. It's part of the creative process. It is like super cool. Anyway, we'll work on that marking period 4. So marking period 3, when you are done reading the book, you're going to select an artwork from either A or B. There is no C. You're going to select an A or B, and then you're going to compare it to the artist whose book that you just read, okay? If you have questions on that, please feel free to go to my help page. That's hitting the hand. You will go to my help page, click on my Zoom, or use the envelope in Schoology. I am here for you guys if you need it, okay? So good luck, and I can't wait to see your artwork, or not your artwork so much, but I can't wait to see your work this week. You guys got this.